Hi, everybody. Jesse here. Today, I'm going to share with you my signature concept and the best piece of advice, or the number one piece of advice that I have for people who are leaders, bosses, anyone who hopes to lead others. So, I call my concept leadership is teachership. And I actually just got that trademarked. So that's my phrase. So leadership is teachership. And the idea is that you are going to be your most successful leader self if you see yourself first and foremost as a teacher of others. So that means that the people who are in your charge, the people who directly report to you, or the people that you are trying to influence, or the people that you're trying to bring out the best in, you are in a position to bring out their talents. You are in a position to teach them how to be successful in a way that benefits you and that benefits them, most importantly. And of course, incidentally to that, that will benefit the organization. So if we invest in developing the talents of our people in a way that they feel and appreciate and are inspired by, because they feel invested in by their boss and by their workplace, then they are going to grow with exponentially, and they are going to bring their potential and their talents to the table, which is going to help you no matter what you're trying to achieve. So, what is a leader in a position to teach others? Well, everything. First of all, I think you need to prioritize the career unfolding or the career trajectory of those people. They need to feel like you are interested in helping them get where they want to be, even if, and this is the thing that's the hardest part, I think, even if that means transcending your organization. Even if that means the person who's working for you is so talented that they are going to move up quickly and be a superstar in their field, prioritize helping them to get there. Because in the meantime, incidentally, you are going to benefit from your access to their talent, their passion, and their own sense of autonomy over their work. It will make an incredible impact on the organization where you are. And you get some credit for that as the leader because you allowed that to happen. So that means teaching people the technical aspects of the job that they need to know. It also means, in addition to you developing their career, you look for the hidden talents or the skills or the capabilities or the potentials that they may not even know they possess. So in order to be a leader, you have to be really good at seeing the latent talent of other people and being able to inspire that to come out. And that means giving people the freedom to explore, to experiment, and to experience where they are so that they are able to, in essence, teach themselves how to be deeply impactful and successful right where they are. So here's an exercise that I like to encourage the people who are in my leadership groups and my leadership clients to think about, which is, okay, you are a leader, right? So I want you to imagine this. Now imagine that in your organization, the organization that you represent, that everyone in your field or in your community wants to work there because they know, first of all, that they're going to be treated well, that they're going to have a positive work experience, but mostly that working at that particular organization is going to give them everything that they need to thrive and to establish and fly on that career trajectory that they dreamed of for themselves. So imagine that that's your organization. It has that kind of reputation because it invests first and foremost in the talents of the people who work there. Now I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the fact that within that organization that really, really talented people want to work for, they actually want specifically to work for you. They want you to be their boss. Not just because you're a nice boss or because, you're not hard on them or you're not demanding, but because they know that in working for you, because of your investment in their talents, that they are going to thrive, that they are going to grow in ways that they couldn't have even foreseen. They couldn't even have looked forward to the ways in which they could grow, because you were the one that saw it in them, and you were the one that inspired their positive transformation. So everyone wants to work for you because they know that in doing so, they are being given a classroom, a laboratory, a place to, again, like I said, I use those words, to explore, experiment, and experience what they need to grow as professionals and as people. And they know that they're going to be given that in the space or the environment that is overseen by you. And they know that they're going to grow and be inspired by the interactions they have with you. Boom. Isn't that an exciting thing to think about? That you are the kind of boss people want to work for because they are going to reach a higher level of achievement than they ever saw coming. And finally, I want you to picture this. Your organization sees your talent and wants you to thrive where you are, and they keep promoting you upward through the ranks, not because they just like you, or because you've earned it somehow by putting in your time, because that's not how someone becomes a good leader, just putting in their time. No. But they're willing to give you opportunity after opportunity because they see how all of the individuals, I don't like to think of people at work in terms of teams. I like to think of them as individuals. And I'll save that particular point for another video. But they know, your bosses, the organization as a whole, the leadership, knows that everyone who works for you starts to thrive. That every office or department or project that you oversee seems to go beyond, right? To exceed expectations, to transcend what we thought was possible, simply because you bring out the best in your people. And not only do you do that through your one-on-one interactions with them, but you know how to create an environment, a climate, and a culture that values the development, the endless, limitless development of people. And so they keep entrusting you to be in a position of responsibility where you can oversee the development of others. So I want you to spend some time thinking about that and think, you know what? How would a boss who has that kind of reputation, right, who is valued that deeply, how would they see their day-to-day work? What would they prioritize on a daily basis? So one powerful question is, if my number one job was the development of the talent of my people, I would prioritize this instead of this. I would be more fill in the blank and less fill in the other blank, right? What would you worry about more in a day? I don't believe in worrying either, but what would you make, your primary point of concern as you go about your day, as you interact with your people, that will get you that reputation that we're talking about? Because when your intention, first thing in the morning, every day, when you go in, and your intention, or at the beginning of every single interaction you have with another person, if your intention is to bring out the best in them, to invest in their talent, and to inspire them to be invested in their own development, then incidentally, you all end up accomplishing way more than you thought was possible. So also, I'll ask you, as you go about thinking about that, as you go about feeling like that kind of leader, look at all the practices that might get in your way, that you might have to let go of. And look at all the practices that other people, other leaders engage in on a daily basis that you no longer think is helpful, that you want to let go of as well. Because you know that your priority is the development of the talent of your people, and therefore everyone, your individuals, you and your organization, and the larger community, and yes, even the world, are going to thrive as a result of that priority.